Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 13, Quadratic Equations, Exercise 13J. This is my second video. And in most of the questions that we are going to solve, we have to solve the quadratic equations by factorizing and using the AC method. And all of you know that to factorize, we arrange first of all the equation in this form as this one, as you can see here, this one. So we arrange it in this form, and then we take out any common factor if there is, and then we factorize using AC method or using the formula or pulling out the GCF. So any of those three methods we will use, but the first step is to change the equation into this standard form. Directly I will start the questions because I gave you the examples in my last video. So let's see what can we do here in question number 30. As you can see here, we have some brackets, and our right hand side, it's not 0. That means that we have to shift these, either these ones to this side or these ones to that side, so we can have 0 on one of the sides. So let's first of all multiply out the brackets. So x times x and then x times 3. So I'll start from here. So we will get x squared plus 3x equals, now multiply this one, so it will become 5 times 3, 15x, and then we will multiply 5 by -7, so it will give us -35. Clear? Now see what can we do next. Now we want this side to be 0, this side to be 0. So one by one we will shift all these terms to this side. So positive 15x will change into negative 15x, and this negative 35 will change into positive 35. So this side we are going to have x squared plus 3x negative 15x, and then positive 35 equals 0. Still it's not in the standard form because these two terms are like terms and they can be solved together. So we will have x squared, because this number 15 is greater than 3, so its sign is going to be here used. So it's going to be 12x plus 35 equals 0. Now here we will use the AC method to factorize it. So what is the AC method? We can write 1 over here and multiply 1 with the positive 35. So it will give us positive 35. Okay, let me write it here. So we will get positive 35. Now what are the numbers that can give us 35? Like what are the factor pairs that can give us 35, and their sum is 12, so it's 7 times 5 is 35. If I add it, I get 12, right? Because this sign, it says add. And how I'm going to factorize it now? I will write x, and then I will think about the number, the greater one, 7, and then I will write x and the smaller number 5. Now I have to place the signs. So the middle sign here is negative. That means this negative sign will go with the larger number. So here the negative sign will be placed, and because here the positive sign says we have to put both the signs negative, so the other one will be negative. Both of them will be negative. Now what do we have to say? We have to say either the first factor is 0, the first one, x minus 7 is 0, right? Or the second factor, that is x minus 5 is 0. From this one I can get, because when I will move this -7 to other side, it will change into positive 7. So 0 plus 7 will be 7. This will be my first value of x. And this -5, when it will be taken to the other side, it will change into positive 5. And finally I will get x equals 5. So I can say that x equals 7 or x equals 5 is the solution set for this equation, right? This is the answer for the this is the solution of the quadratic equation, okay, or the roots of the quadratic equation. If you want to check your answer one by one, you can put 7 over here. If the left hand side and the right hand side will give you the same answer, that means you got the correct answer, and then you can check for 5. Clear? Now better let me open the next question for you. Okay, here let me do the first step. X minus 3, because we want 0 here, we do not want any number. So x minus 3 into x plus 6, and this positive 33, when you will bring it on this side, it will be negative 33 equals 0. Now better pause the video here, multiply out the brackets and simplify all this left hand side to get the standard form of the quadratic equation. So here is the answer for this question. As you can see, when I moved negative 33 to this side and I removed the brackets by multiplying the terms that were in the both brackets, so I could find that these two are like terms and these two are like terms, and they were solved together. And finally here, when I got the standard form of the equation, I factorized it and then I solved it to get the values of x. So let's solve some more questions. This is the same idea. Better pause the video here. First of all, multiply out the brackets and then simplify the equation and change it into standard form. The left hand side is already 0, so simply you have to solve this side, right, to change it into standard quadratic equation, and then factorize it, get both the factors, get both the values, and then play the video to check your answer. So here is the answer for question number 40. As clearly you can see that when I multiplied these two brackets, I got 10x and negative 10x similar terms, and negative 10 and positive 30 the similar terms. I solved them. This is the standard form of the quadratic equation. I factorized it. I multiplied here 1, used AC method, the positive 20 here. This is the pair of the factors that I used here to write the final answer of the factorization. Then either the first factor is 0 or the second factor is 0, and we got the answer. Okay, let's discuss another case now. Now this one is a special case. You can see here, by the way, it's very easy. Why? Because this side of the you can say equation is already factorized. I have all the factors here already. How? Look at this. This is my first factor. This is the second factor, and this one is the third factor, right? So these are already factorized, and the right hand side is already 0. So it means nothing I have to bring it from the right side to change it into standard form. It's already, this side is 0, and this side is already factorized. All these are factors. So simply I will say either my first factor is 0. Let's write them. Okay. Or the second factor is 0, that is x minus 6 is 0, or the third factor x minus 7 is 0. Here either the first one is 0, this is the first one, it's 0, this is the second one, this one is 0, or the third one is 0, that is making all of them equal to 0. So clearly this one is already solved. It's x equals 0. From here you can move this negative 6 to the other side, so it will change into positive 6, and finally we will get x equals 6. And here you can move negative 7 to the other side, it will change into positive 7, and x equals 7. So we are getting these three possible values of x. Okay, so we can write over here x equals 0 or x equals 6. Let me write it clearly. X equals 6 or x equals 7. So this is the final answer. Here's another type of questions. By the way, you can, as you can see here, what is the GCF? The GCF is x. So we can pull out the GCF first of all. So the first factor will become x, and then let me write it over here. So our first factor is x, and we will see what is left inside. So here we will be left with 4x squared minus 9 equals 0. Okay, I got the first factor, but what about the second one here, this one? How I can factorize this? So let me show you here separately how can we factorize it. 4x squared minus 9. I can make use of the formula. Why? Because this thing, it's the square of 2x. And this thing is the square of 3, right? So I have two terms. The first one is square of 2x, and the second one is the square of 3. And there's a negative sign between them. It means I can use the formula of difference of squares. And how do we write the answer for such cases? We take the terms, and once we add them, and once we subtract them. So this is the answer. How can we factorize this thing? the x is the first factor, and this factor can be factorized in this way. So it is giving us two factors, 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3 equals 0. Now again I have three factors. This is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. So you can say either the first one is 0, x is 0, or the second one is 0. What is the second one? It's 2x plus 3 equals 0, or the third one, that is 2x minus 3 is 0. Now move this 3 first of all to the other side, it will change into negative 3. So you will have 2x equals negative 3. Now to eliminate this, or you can say to get rid of this 2, you can divide this side by 2 and you can divide this side by 2. So 2 will cancel 2, and finally we will get x equals negative 3 over 2. Same is the case here. You will move this negative 3, it will change into positive 3. So 2x equals 0 plus 3 will be 3, and now you can divide each side by 2. So this 2 will cancel 2, and we will get x equals 3 over 2. So we got three values of possible values of x. So x equals 0, or you can say x equals negative 3 over 2, or you can say x equals 3 over 2. So these are the possible values of x, or you can say these are the roots. Clear? Let's solve one more question from the exercise. Okay, first of all, it's not in the standard form, so we don't want this x cube to be negative. So let's move these terms to this side first of all. So this negative will change into positive, and this one is positive, it will change into negative. So we can write it as x cube minus 6x squared plus 8x equals 0. Better to write them in the descending powers of the x, like the greatest power of x in the beginning, then 2, and then 1, right? Now what is the GCF here? The GCF is x. So let's take out x. So let's take out x, and what can we write over here? X squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Now we have this factor and we have this factor, right? But this factor can be factorized more. How? We can use the AC method. So we can write it over here, this factor separately, and we can factorize it, right? Okay, better pause the video here, factorize it, and get all the possible answers, all the possible values of x on your own now. So here is the answer. X is equal to 0, or x equals 4, or x equals 2. These are the possible values. And how did I get the got these values? When I factorize this thing, x squared minus 6x plus 8, its factorization has been shown here. I used the AC method. 2 and 4 was the pair that I needed, so both of them will get the same answer. 4 will be negative, 2 will be negative. I brought them over here, I replaced this expression with its factors, and then simply you will find the values of x from these three factors. That's all for this exercise. Hope you understand it.